Hey, good morning. Wanda here from Sense by Me Bath and Body Care. We're in the house today. It's raining. It's a rainy day. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to make a herbal soap with all those leftover or aged oils that you've infused or any leftover herbs that you've dried. We're going to infuse some of those and we're going to make a herbal soup, and I'm going to show you how you can do it. So come along, and we're going to gather some things together. I've got them all on my stove because we need to get the oils and the extra herbs that I've found on the apothecary. I want to add some of those in, and then we're going to infuse them and let them simmer for at least an hour in this already infused other oils that I have. But I'm going to bring the phone over. I'm doing it on my phone today, so it's going to be a very simple, basic homemade soap that we're going to use. This is not going to be for sale. I just want to show you how you can use not bad oils that you've infused, but some that you've had that have aged and you're like, oh, what am I going to do with these oils? I need to get them used up. So if you have any of those and maybe some herbs that you've dried, or you just have a little bit, in a jar, and you're like, okay, what can I do with that? This is a good way to use all of that up and make a soap. So let me bring the phone over and show you what I'm going to do as far as getting all of these oils and these herbs that I have in one place. Okay, hold on. Okay. On my stove, let's start with the oils. I have in this jar is a sunflower oil that I infused with holy basil and pineapple sage. And that's quite a bit of oil. It turned out beautiful golden. And I want to make a fresh batch, so I'm going to use up this old. It's not old. It's still good. You can still use it. So we're going to use the holy basil infused with pineapple sage in with sunflower oil. Then we have sunflower oil, and I infused chamomile flowers. When chamomile was here, we infused that and strained it. So we got a little bit of that oil left over. So we're going to add that to that. And then we have some dandelion, and we have rose petals. So the rose petals and the dandelions were strained, and we're going to use that oil. We're going to combine all three of these oils together. And we're going to use these oils, and then whatever's left over, we will top off. If we need any extra oil, we'll probably use sunflower oil, because that's the most, that the oils that were used in these infusions. So just to keep it simple. Okay, then I decided, okay, well, let me go over to the apothecary and check to see what I would like to add or use up in my herbal soap. So I decided, well, I had some holy basil that I had picked and dried. So we're going to add that holy basil. I have an herbal mix, a little jar of herbal mix. And let's see. Smells wonderful still. That still smells beautiful. As soon as I took the lid off, you can smell it. So that's still good, but we're gonna go ahead and use the herbal mix. I also have some purple sage that I had dried, and that's not very much left in that jar. So we're gonna add purple sage, and I also have quite a bit of rosemary, which I won't use all of that, but I will take some of that rosemary just to use up some of my rosemary. And then of course I'm going to add some rose buds and some petals. Aren't they beautiful? Look at that. We could probably top the top of the soap when we get it in the loaf pan or in the mold, and we could top it off with that. That would look beautiful. So look, this is what we're going to do. I need to get all the oils over here. This is my workstation today because I've been canning. Now that we're going to take a break from canning, I've got a little bit of space left on my kitchen counter that I can make this soap. So we're going to make it into a hot process soap today. So I have my crock pot ready. It's not on, but it'll be ready. I have my stick blender, my bowls, my heat gun to measure the temperature, my scale, my pitcher, my goggles, and my lye pitcher, because we have to have lye. But for the time being, the first thing we need to do, we're using a very simple recipe today. We'll be using the oils that we're going to blend together, and I'm going to use that instead of, excuse me, just a moment. Instead of olive oil in this recipe that I'm usually, when I make this aloe vera soap, I normally use olive oil in that, but we're going to be using these oils that we want to use up instead of olive oil. So you'll use that amount in the recipe and replace it with the oils that you want to use up. So then we're going to combine it with the coconut oil and the shea butter. We will be adding some aloe vera we have I have frozen, let me see if I can show you that. There we go. We have frozen aloe vera, which we will be putting into the pan. We will just snap them, break them down, and put them in with the dried herbs and let it simmer in the pan. We also later will be adding some plain yogurt. That will be at the end of the process cook when we're done. Well, not done completely, but when it gets close to being done in the crock pot. This is going to take a couple hours to do. So the first thing we need to do is I need to measure off my oils to make sure that my what my recipe calls for. I'm gonna go just a tad over, because when you're simmering in your dried herbs to infuse slow for about an hour, you'll lose some of that oil in that infusion process because we're adding in more herbs. So let's go over. Let's take the we'll take the oils over here that we need to strain, or measure out anyway. I don't need to strain them, but need to measure them so we can get an idea of what I will need. Let me see if I need a hefty little opener in case I can't get that to pop open. All right, so I'm going to put the phone down. Hopefully you'll be able to see. I'll try to line it up the best I can so you can see. There we go. All right. So first thing first, we want to make sure we have enough oil in our mix. So we are going to take our pitcher. You need a big pitcher, or you're going to transfer it into this pan that we're going to put our herbs in. Okay, let me move my. All right, so you're going to turn your scale on. Go put your pitcher there. Tear it out to 0. Come on. There we go. So we're going to I'm going to look at my recipe, and I'm going to say we need at least a little over what my recipe calls for. So I'm going to go like 3 ounces over what I need. Okay, so we're going to take this first lid off, if I can get that. I'm going to keep my tag so I know what I need to start a new batch for. So we can use that so I don't forget. Oh, you need to make some more. Oh, that came off, so that's great. Now, first thing you need to do before you decide to do all this, you need to smell. And if it doesn't smell rancid or really, really, really strong, like, you'll know. It won't smell nice. So you want to do that before you decide to combine oils together that are already infused. This smells really nice still. And this was last summer. And we're at this summer, so we're almost a year. So that's a good time to go look in your oils and and do that. So that's a good way to use up your aged oils that you want to just make a soap. It's awesome. Okay, we're going to start, and we'll start by adding the sunflower with the chamomile. Take your spatula, clean it all out the best you can. You want to get it all. And if you have bits and pieces from your, when you infused it originally, don't worry about it, because, it's for you. And it doesn't matter, And actually, set that over there. And actually, the herb pieces are great. Ooh, that one was a little tight. I might have to use the hefty little... Oh, there we go. So look, that was about 3 ounces for that on there, for that one. And this one is Dandelion and Rose Petals. That makes an awesome salve. So we're going to go ahead and just add that in there, keeping an eye on the total amount that we need. We don't want to go too far over. Wow, that's nice. We're still within. Be nice to get all this used up. Okay, we're going to set that jar out of the way. Now we have our holy basil and pineapple sage. Oh, that is going to be wonderful. Ooh, that one made a noise, didn't it? Yeah, it was really sealed good. Okay. I can really smell the pineapple sage and the holy basil booth. Oh, this smells good. Okay, so let's get to adding in, mixing in. Wow, this came out pretty good. We're going to have a little bit left over probably when we do the infusion with the, but that's okay. That is a pound, 1 pound, 5 ounces that I got of oil. So now we're going to take this oil mix. Now that I know that it's enough, 1 pound, 5 ounces, that's more than enough that I need for my recipe. So we're going to take that, mix it really good before we put it in the pan. Isn't that a beautiful golden color? I'm just making a note so I don't forget that I did 1 pound, 5 ounces. Okay. Now I can shut my scale off. I just totally went blank. Okay, we can put this away. And now we're going to take our pot. Even though I don't need this, I'm just going to use it to set on. We are going to go ahead and transfer from here to our pot that we want to simmer for an hour. Because later we have to strain this before we can put it in the crock pot. So I don't want to use my crock pot, not yet. I want the crock pot to be used for when we're totally done infusing. So we're going to take all that, we're going to scrape that all down. Beautiful. Oh man, it does smell nice. Just make sure your oils are still good, that none of them went rancid, because then that will mess up your whole total soak batch if you don't do that. Check that prior. Okay, I think I've got everything. I'm going to set this to the side. Now it's time to gather up the herbs that I want to put in my, let me just move this. I think I can move it now. In my simmer, in my infusion, what do I want to add? So now, first thing is I want to go ahead and add all of this aloe. It's been in the freezer, so it's just going to break up. You don't want them too small, but you do want to break them so that you can see the aloe can come out when it's simmering. It'll get soft and mushy, and that's fine because we're going to simmer it, so it doesn't matter. But you do want to break them. See? This is going to be a nice, creamy soup. moisturizing, skin loving. Okay, so we've got our aloe added. And now we can start adding our herbs that we decided ahead of time that we want to put, that we want to add to our infusion for an hour. So we know we're going to add all of our herbal mix. So I'm not breaking any of it up. I'm just going to put it in here. I don't have to measure because you don't need to. You put in how much that you want in your infusion. How strong do you want it? So I know I want to use all of my purple sage. Now, if you want to, like, press it, get it, not break it up in bitsy pieces, but just to activate it, just to get it going, you know, to wake up your herbs, right? And then, oh yeah, that smells wonderful. Okay. Rosemary. Now I know I'm not going to use all of my rosemary, but I do want to use enough to give it a good scent. And I'm just going to pat it. I don't want to overpower it, but I do want to use some. There we go. So look, we've used half, and that's good. And it doesn't matter if you have the stems. It doesn't matter on rosemary. Now the holy basil, I've decided I want to use all of my holy basil because I love holy basil. Oh, it's got a wonderful smell. Oh, just lovely. It is so fresh. And I'm just like touching it to get it going. I'm not crunching. I am just touching. Every bit. And I'd say that was probably like, I don't know, a third of a cup, if that. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Now I know I need to get and grow next season because I didn't grow it this year. So I'll have to grow some holy basil and get some more dry. See? New batch. Now, we're not going to use all of the rose petals because I want to save some for the top of my soup. Just to give, but I do want to add some. Oh, does that smell wonderful? So, I'm not measuring. I'm just going to take a handful. Like so. Like so. Just enough that I know that it will be okay. And we're just going to throw that in there too. Oops, I missed some over here. Sorry, I missed some. We'll throw that in the sink. Okay, so we'll save this to use later. Okay, I'm going to get my spatula because I want to stir it. But before I stir this, I want to show you what a beautiful blend that is now. And we're going to stir that in. Okay. All right? Because we want to make sure it's well covered with the oil. Right? Want to make sure all the herbs. Give it a good stir. Now to infuse the infused oils that we've already did. Now we're going to infuse them just a little longer to give them a boost with these dried herbs to give our soap a nice scent overall. So here we go. Okay, it looks like it's well covered. Clean your, get all your oils there. Okay, we're going to take this over to the stove. Move my jars out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to turn my stove on. Not boiling. You do not want to boil. You want to simmer. Once it starts to simmer, put your timer on for 1 hour. And then we'll come back and we'll strain it out when it's all done simmering. So we'll be back when we get to that point, and then we'll be able to strain it and add it to the crock pot so we can get our oils heated and ready. In the meantime, while we're waiting for all this to simmer, I can get my crock pot, my lye ready, my loaf pan that I want to use, and we'll get those things gathered and together. Okay, we'll be back as soon as this is done simmering. I'll try to get try to come in and sneak a picture of it while it's simmering really pretty, but it's a beautiful blend. Okay, we'll be back in just a bit. Okay, an hour has passed. We've simmered all of our herbs and our infused oils together, and we've strained them. And this is what, it's kind of hot, so I'm going to be careful. But this is look how darker it is from what we started. And those that are floating, that's just some pieces of the herbs that went through the strainer, which I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But now I need to measure out my exact amount that I need to put in to the crock pot, because that's the amount that I need to mix with the coconut oil and the shea butter. Okay, so I'm going to just set this to the side. I'm going to get my container. I'm going to clear that. And then I'm going to measure out my oils per the recipe. Wow, I'm a little shy. So, let me get my spatula right quick so I can, I thought I was going to have enough. But evidently, I'm going to scrape the rest of this out so I can make sure I get an accurate. And it's not much that I have to add, so It's probably, it's less than an ounce that I have to add. So that is really good. Well, that's great. I got to use all of my oils that I had infused. And I'm just going to get my sunflower oil. So give me just a moment. Okay, I'm going to top it off with our sunflower oil till I get to the amount that I need. There we go. Wasn't much, was it? Okay, now that I can turn this off, and I can set this to the side very carefully, because now I need to bring my crock pot over so I can add in, which I've already measured while it was simmering. I went ahead and put my coconut oil in there. I measured it out. So we have that in there. So I'm going to go ahead, and we have our shea butter that I've already pre-measured out. So we're going to be adding that. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to make sure all the coconut oil is on the bottom here. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to plug in the there we go. Got to get the crock pot plugged in so we can get it ready. We're going to take that lid off very carefully, because we want to add the oil, our infused herbal oils. And it really does smell good. We're going to add those in to the coconut oil, because all of this has to melt. And we're going to put this all in the crock pot, and we're going to put the crock pot on high. And then while we're waiting for the crock pot to melt all the oil and the shea butter and the coconut oil together, I will be preparing my lye mixture. And then what will happen after that, we will add the lye mixture to the oils. And then we will proceed cooking the batch, because it'll have to go through several stages as far as when it gets ready. It'll take about a little over, probably about an hour or so before it's completely finished. Okay, let me set that over here. I'm collecting my little dishes over there. So, okay, we're going to add in our organic shea butter. Like I said, we'll add a little bit of yogurt at the end when we just get ready to, before we take it out and put it in the mold. So, because we don't want to overcook the yogurt in the mix. So I add that in the end. And that's just to give it extra texture to the soap. Gives it a good moisturizing, and yogurt is good for you. It helps with your skin. And this will be a beautiful addition to the soap. Okay, we can use that little. All right, so now I will prepare my crock pot. I have everything in there that I need. Let me, instead of tilting, I'll bring the phone over. We have everything in there that we need. And now we're going to put this in our crock pot. I'm going to see if I can pick that up. Oh, I must have hit the button by accident. Sorry. But we're going to pick the crock pot up now and put it inside the holder. And then we're going to turn it on high. Put the lid on. And then we will keep an eye on that. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and we'll set that to the side because we'll need that in a little while. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead. We're going to wait about maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Because this has to, those have to be totally melted. And I want my oils and my lye to be within, 5 or 10 degrees of each other. So when I add the lye, I can just go ahead and go forward. So that's going to take a few minutes to do. We'll wait till this gets to the point where it's all melted. And then I'll do the lye. And we'll get it ready to go in. So we'll come back when we get to that point. And we'll get making this soap. Okay, all of the oils have melted in the crock pot. Now we need to check the temperature in the crock pot, and I've mixed the lye already because I had to turn the vent on and it would just, it's just too loud. So we're going to go ahead and check the temperature. We're going to take the lid off and we're going to check the temperature of the oils, and that's at 150 and 146 for the lye. So we're within 4 or 5 degrees of each other, which is fine. I did want it, like around 140, but that's okay because they're within 5 degrees, 5 or 10 degrees of each other. So 5 degrees is okay. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to mix the lye. We can get rid of the heat gun. And then what's going to happen, we're going to slide this over just a tad. And I'm going to take this spoon and I'm going to run the lye down into the to the oil mixture. And then I'll be taking my my stick blender, and then I will bring the oil and the lye to a full, shoot, it went out of my head. The oil and the lye has to be fully blended, and so we can start cooking the soap. So we'll stick that over to the side, that stick blender. We're going to go slow with the lye. So here we go. And we're going to do it down on an angle. I hope you can see that. Okay. Because you don't want any splatting going on while you add the lye. Give it a good shake. You gotta make sure you get all of that lye water solution out. And then we're gonna set our container out of the way. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna give this a good stir. And then I'm gonna add the stick blender until it becomes emulsified. I'll stick blend it. And then once it gets to that point, we can put the lid back on and let it go through its cooking process. But I am just gonna bring this over here to show you. Get my glove out of the way and keep my finger away from that button. Okay, there we go. See how liquidy it is. And I'm gonna try and video the emulsion to get it blended. And sorry, I'm just gonna grab my stick blender. And you want to get the air bubble, give it a good couple times to get it going. Okay, let's get this baby going. It shouldn't take long for it to emulsify. And I'll show you how I know. Okay, we're there already. And how you can tell is you pick up your stick, and if it leaves like a trace, you can tell it's that trace in the pot. So we want it to allow like a pudding, and that's what it looks like on top. So we're going to take the stick blender out and now put the lid on and allow it to cook. And we will constantly be watching it and stirring. Probably about every 15-20 minutes we'll check it, we'll stir, and it'll go through a few stages. I'll try to get a picture of each stage, and then when we get all finished, we'll come back and add the fragrance and the yogurt to the mix. Okay, we'll be back when we're all done cooking. Okay, we are at the end of the cooking. That took about an hour to go through all the stages of getting it cooked through. And we're at the what they call the applesauce stage. It's very shiny when you get to that stage, then you know it's all cooked through. So now we can, I'm going to go ahead, and now we can go ahead and I'm going to check the temperature. Oh my, let's see, 193. Okay, so we can add the yogurt, but I cannot add my my scent of pineapple and sage yet. It's too hot. So we'll go ahead and we'll add the get the yogurt added in, and then we'll have to wait a little bit to do the I got it put down on low. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to leave the lid off to help bring down that temperature, because we can't add that sage and pineapple in there when it's that hot. So, okay, so let's go ahead and add in our yogurt. And we'll stir that in really well. That the heat from it will help melt the yogurt and get it all mixed in very good. So. Okay, we'll get that over there, put that in the sink, and we're just going to go ahead and stir that in. Get that all mixed in. You see all that on the sides, you just want to keep that there. You don't want to scrape it down into your mix, because that will leave pieces, you know, into your soap that's not that great. So anything that's dried on the sides, I try to. Now if it's still wet and you can get it, then by all means do that. Okay. That looks very good, very nice. I got my mold, and this is about a 2-pound batch. So it'll give us some nice bars of herbal soap. It'll take about 2 weeks versus 4 to 6 weeks if I did it the other way. If I did it cold process, but being I'm cooking it, it only takes about 2 weeks to get it processed and cured. In 2 weeks, we should be able to package it and use it. So, okay, let's check, see how close we are to the temperature. We're down to 186, so we're not moving. We're coming down, but I need to come down about 20 more degrees or so. So I'm just going to have to come back when we get it all mixed in, and I'm about ready, and I'll get it in the mold. Not sure how long that'll take for this to come down a little, but we'll get that pineapple sage and in the pot, and then we'll get it in the mold, and then I'll come back and show you what it all looks like. This is the end. We finally got it all cooked and in the mold. I had to wait a little bit to get the temperature down to add the scent of, I used pineapple and sage blend, because that's what most of my herbs and, well, not all of it, but some of it. And I really like that scent, so that's what I added. So when we add it and we put it in the mold, and now look how beautiful it is. And it's topped with the rose petals, just enough to give it a beautiful look in the middle, and it'll help give it a little bit of exfoliation when it's all done. So in 2 weeks, we're going to put it over there and let it, I'm going to wrap it with a towel because it's still hot. But wanted to thank you guys. Let me know what you think of my herbal blend hot process soap, and we'll definitely take a look at it when it comes out of the mold and we do the cut. So, but it is beautiful. It smells wonderful, and it's got plenty of wonderful oils, organic oils and butters. Coconut oil, shea butter, sunflower oil. It's just a beautiful blend, and it has a ton of herbs that are going to help rejuvenate the body and refresh, and it has a beautiful scent. So let me know what you think, and we'll see you soon when we do the cut and we got to let it sit for 24 hours before I can do that. So we'll be back when we do the cut, and it turned out really well. I'm so excited for it, and it smells wonderful. We'll see you then at the cut. Well, it's been 24 hours, and we've gotten the herbal soap out of the mold, and now I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then we're going to cut it on my nice acrylic cutter. That's a nice one, isn't it? I love it. Okay, I'm going to bring the phone over. It did turn out nice. Let me just show you. Give you a close-up of what it looked like. I'm trying to do it with the phone, so give me a minute to get the angle. There we go. Look at that beautiful soap. It turned out lovely. And I like how the texture has got the rustic look to it a little. And it will lighten some because I didn't put any colorings in it. It's just a natural herbal scented, you know, with herbs and yogurt and oils and butters. I mean, it's a natural blend. It's got sage and pineapple, and I think it turned out very lovely. So we're going to go ahead and get a piece cut and give you a close-up look of what it looked like when I cut it. Hopefully I won't mess it up, the phone. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and slide this out of the way just for a little bit so I can get my my cutter over here, and gotta slide this off. Here we go. Then we're gonna go ahead and just take our soap loaf and get that lined up. And let's see. Hopefully I got that right. Okay, all we do is line up our line with the outside, and we just give it a good, keep it straight, and down we go. Straight down. And then I'm going to start from this side because I'm right-handed. And I'll show you a couple of them. They make even ones, even nice slices, and I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7 slices, 7 loaf bars. Let's take this one out. Very nice. And believe me, it smells wonderful. Made the whole house smell lovely. The house still, you can still smell the house from pineapple and sage from yesterday. It's beautiful. Turned out to be a really lovely soap. So we'll let this cure for 2 weeks, and then we'll be able to use it and enjoy it in the family. Family will be able to try it all out. And it'll be a nice moisturizing, creamy, little bit of exfoliating on the top. And it'll be an overall beautiful herbal soap. So I hope you enjoyed watching me make our homemade herbal soap with our leftover oils and herbs. And hope that you'll give it a try. And it's a hot process soap, but it's easy. It's a little time consuming, but you get a beautiful soap in no time. Within 2 weeks you can use it. So I'll try to put some links down below of the oils and the place where you can go to do the actual recipe on your own. You can use your own different types of oils. You didn't have to use the ones that I actually used, but that way you can learn and get the information to see on how to create a recipe with your own soap and oils. So God bless you. I hope you'll leave a comment on how you like the video, and if you have any questions, just leave those down below, and I will definitely get back with you as quick as I can. But I thoroughly enjoyed making this, and we're going to be making more in the future, I'm sure. Just a different scent. Okay, God bless you. We'll see you next time in the kitchen. All right, be blessed.